How three young friends out camping are attacked by a crocodile. One of them does not survive. In December 2003, three friends, Sean Blowers, Ashley McGough, both just 19, and 22-year-old Brett Mann, had spent the weekend together camping. They had brought along their quad bikes and had enjoyed their days roaring through the Australian outback. That afternoon was going to be their last ride on the bikes before they had to pack up and go home. They thought it was just another day of off-road fun. They had no idea their weekend adventure would spiral into a nightmare. When they had finished their riding, they stopped by the riverbank to wash off the mud from their clothes, as they had done many times before. They laughed together, splashing muddy water over each other, unaware that just beyond the tree line in the stillness, something terrifying was already watching them. Brett stepped too close to the edge, and in a flash, he slipped. He fought against the powerful current, but the river's grip was very strong, and he was in danger of being swept away in an instant. His friends, panic-stricken, jumped in to save him. They caught hold of him and were successfully guiding him back to the shore. But just before they got there, it happened. A flash of teeth, a surge of water, something massive shot up from beneath the surface. And in that instant, the lives of all three boys would be changed forever. They had no idea that this was the start of a nightmare that would stretch across a long, terror-filled night where two would cling desperately to life, and one would be dragged into the abyss, never to return. What happened next would test the limits of fear, endurance, and survival itself. It was a crocodile that had locked its jaws onto Brett in seconds. And then the water rolled and churned with unnatural force as the crocodile dragged him under the water. Sean and Ashley froze. Horror rooted them to the spot. They could not believe what they had just witnessed. This was just unimaginable. Their friend, screaming in terror, was taken away from them in the jaws of a huge crocodile. They stayed motionless in the water, looking at the very still scene in front of them. They knew they had to move but could not swim. Their limbs refused to work. Neither of them could utter a sound. But they knew that the crocodile could come back for them next. They crawled on their hands and knees, moving forward slowly. Eventually, they managed to reach a large tree on the muddy bank. With pure willpower, they were both able to crawl up the branches and stay above the water. So there they were, two broken survivors clinging to the gnarled branches of a tree. Hours passed in darkness. Their hands were raw, their bodies trembling. But the river didn't let them go. It stayed, silent, watching, waiting. Every movement in the water was a threat. Hours dragged by. The cold crept into their bones. Their muscles cramped, their fingers slipped. And all the while, the crocodile waited. As the night stretched on, the two young men struggled to hold on. The cold gnawed at their skin. Their muscles burned. They were exhausted. But their fear, it never left. Was it real? The whispers in the wind? The cracking of branches? Or was it their minds, breaking down from the exhaustion, making them imagine things? Was their fear playing tricks on them? And then it happened. The crocodile was back. It was real. The animal circled, its cold eyes locked onto the tree, its patience as infinite as the night around them. It was watching them intently, waiting for them to slip back into the water. Every moment felt like their last. Every second they could feel the grip of the river getting closer. Their hands, raw and bleeding, slipped once, twice. They could barely hold on. One wrong move, just one, and they'd fall. It had already taken one of them. It was patient enough to take another. As the hours passed, the crocodile was still circling, still watching from below, waiting for the moment when their resolve would break. It did not have their friend Brett in its mouth anymore. The animal had now come for one of them this time. They helped each other stay awake and have hope. Hours turned into a long, agonizing night. And then finally, the sound they'd been praying for, the blades of a helicopter. A search party had arrived. When help finally reached them, they had nothing left. The two young men had survived. They had made it out. But their friend Brett was gone. His body was never found. The river had taken him, and no one would ever know exactly what had happened to him. And the image of Brett being pulled under the water by the crocodile would haunt the surviving boys forever. They would live with what happened that day for the rest of their lives. A weekend away that changed these friends forever. The Finniss River is still home to one of the most dangerous predators in the world. Who knows how many more will fall victim to its jaws? Some stories end with survival. Others with a horrifying truth that the crocodiles are the winners when it comes to a battle for survival. If you want to watch more true horror stories of people being eaten alive and how others were able to survive these crocodile attacks, then please subscribe and share this video.